Hello, guys. Welcome to the Coolest Chess podcast. Today I'm with Ant, a Leicester City fan. And also, please subscribe, like, and share the channel to everyone that you know. Mate, how are you?
Yeah, all good, all good. Mad week. Had a manager a couple of days ago. Now we don't. So I
Yes.
thought once the season had ended, we might have a quiet couple of weeks, but it's just never the case with Leicester. Never a minute of quiet.
Yeah, mate. I hope all goes well and then you have the best manager for your team, right?
Yeah, it looks like him as I knew. Like you've been in this situation as well before as a Chelsea fan, but as soon as you're out looking for a manager, pretty much any manager out of work's all of a sudden linked to Leicester because I think it's been 3 days we've been linked to Carlos Corberán, David Moyes, Steve Cooper, Graham Potter, and it's like within 3 days we've been linked to four managers.
Exactly. So, anyway, let's go straight to it, right? So, my first question to you, right? What can Chelsea fans expect from Enzo Maresca?
So in terms of his style of play, it will be a very possession-heavy style of play where he's looking to control the game, where he tries to limit the opposition and like at times it can be slow and it can be a bit sort of a painful watch, but I do feel like the more and more your players get used to the system and used to what he requires and expects from players, it will become more and more effective. But this is where I don't think it's the right appointment for Chelsea, and I don't blame him for taking it, but I think it's a huge risk for Chelsea. No risk for Enzo Maresca, but a huge risk for Chelsea because his style and his sort of philosophies need time to implement. Chelsea's not the right club for that, I don't think. And I feel like the fan base are, and you can tell me if I'm wrong with this. I feel like your fan base is already sort of a bit peed off about Pochettino and about Graham Potter. So it's like he's going to need time, but again, not really that kind of club, are you?
100% I agree with you. Some other fans are not happy about it. So, but anyway, personally for me, I never wanted to put in a Chelsea. That's my opinion because he's a famous best coach, and then I don't want rivals coach at my club. So that's my opinion, and other people got their own opinions, right?
Yeah,
So, so for you, do you think Maresca will be successful at Chelsea?
I hope he is because I'm grateful for him for winning us the championship this season and getting us back to the Premier League. I hope he is, but if I'm going to be 100% honest, I don't think he will be. I feel like it's come as a step too quickly for him because you look a lot of the comparisons are with him and Arteta at Arsenal. If it goes how it did with Arsenal and Arteta for that first 18 months, well, it won't last 6 months. So I I feel like your board and your hierarchy keep saying about a process and a long term project. They say one thing and then act in a different way. So I think if it's going to be a project and a long term process, then you need to take the rough with the smooth. But I don't think your board, like it's like I say, Todd Bowley set and his representatives say all of this and then go through manager after manager after manager. So it's like saying one thing, doing another thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hopefully, this time the board will be patient, and also the fans will be patient, and hopefully, it start kicking so that it doesn't have more pressure. But in terms of the players, right? Since we've watched Chelsea sometimes or recently, which players are at risk at the moment at Chelsea? Do you think?
I think Chilwell and Cucurella are the first ones that spring to mind because we don't play with a left back. So I think instantly that puts them sort of in danger. I think Cucurella can play as a third centre back, but it's a bit of a round peg in a square hole. Um, so I think that those instantly stand out to me. Petrovic and Sanchez, I both think as well, your goalkeepers, because when you watch Mads Hermansen for Leicester, He's basically half the time in possession. He's another centre-back. He'll step forward and make himself another man in possession. I don't think either of your goalkeepers have got the ability to do that. I think Petrovic is a brilliant shot stopper, and I think he's developing really well, but I don't think his attributes fit the attributes that Enzo Maresca wants in a goalkeeper. And it's interesting because the first thing that Enzo Maresca did when he came to Leicester was brought in a new goalkeeper. And we all thought when we got relegated, oh, that's fine. Daniel Iverson will probably be our goalkeeper next season. He's championship proven, very good shot stopper. And the first thing Enzo Maresca did was went and got Mads Hermansen. So I think a goalkeeper will be essential. And then I think as well a striker. I think Nicholas Jackson would suit Enzo Maresca's system to a certain extent, with your strikers dropping deep and then running beyond the wingers. Someone who work relentlessly hard. But I also think that I feel like he can't be your only option. I think you need someone who he can rotate with and almost be the main man, and then Nicholas Jackson be the rotation.
Also, what are your thoughts and experience regard Enzo Maresca?
Yeah, so it's such a limited time period because we've literally had one season and it's in the championship. So my feeling is that, this is going to sound really arrogant and I don't mean it to, but when we went down to the championship, that squad that we had was by far and away the best squad in the championship if you look man for man. So he got us promoted and he won us the league, and I'm grateful for that. But if he hadn't have done that, it would have been a failure. So I think he did what was expected. But a lot of what he did was rebuilding sort of the relationship between the fans and the players on the board. Because with Brendan Rodgers, that had completely broken. That was just like the fans were like most of the away games I go to. You're getting chants of "We want Brendan out," banners coming out saying Rodgers out, and I'd say that was months of that. Again, most games Brendan Rodgers getting booed. It had gone on far too long with Brendan Rodgers, and he should have got sacked a lot longer before than he did. So something Enzo Maresca did first thing was make sure he built that relationship with the fans. He went to fan groups. He made an effort to sort of always go across, applaud the away fans, always interact with the fans. So I think that side of things, he was very good. The football and the style of play, he changed massively, which again, at times it was very brilliant, entertaining. But at the same time, as I said earlier, I feel like any semi-competent manager would have got our squad out of the championship. When you look that Harry Winks is a Premier League level player, Ricardo Pereira is a Premier League level player, Ndidi, Dewsbury Hall, Connor Cody, James Justin, Mavididi, Fatawu, Jamie Vardy. That's a Premier League spine of a team there, which 23 out of the other 24 championship clubs would have snapped your hand off to have those players.
Thank you, mate. And also, what is Enzo Maresca's strength and weakness, I would say?
So I think his strengths is his man management and his ability to build those relationships with the players. The players look like they would run through absolute brick walls for him. And also his development of young players. You look at Abdul Fatawu, who we signed from Sporting Lisbon. It hadn't gone particularly well from at Sporting Lisbon. Came to Leicester, and very quickly, like you could see that there was a bit of talent there. Enzo, but you look at him at the start of the season where he played against Hull, where you could see there was a bit of talent. You could see that there's something about him. You look at him towards the end of the season, it looks like a player that's massively improved throughout the course of the season. So developing young players is definitely one. Weakness, persisting with plan A. You will play the same style of football from the first minute of the game to the last minute, whether it's working or not. So like that can be incredibly frustrating. He's also, when Ricardo Pereira got injured, he still persists with playing with an inverted right back. And it's like, it's all well and good if you've got someone else who can come in and do that role. We don't. Ricardo Pereira is brilliant at coming as an inverted right back. But then when you're forcing players like Hamza Chowdhury to do it, just to fit the system, it's like that's where I think it becomes a bit of an issue and a weakness. So I know you guys have got Gusto and Reece James, but so like that may not become an issue, but it's more of a principle of he will not adapt his system for anything or anyone.
Yeah, I agree with you. We are lucky that we have Rhys James and Malo Gusto, so that means it might not be an issue for us. Hopefully, because sorry about that. But also, I would like to ask you something, right? What is Enzo Maresca's ideal formation?
So it's a 4-3-3, but it changes on the ball into a three at the back with three centre backs, and then Ricardo Pereira will go into the midfield. You'll have it becomes then a two in front of the three, and then you have the so then you have the two wingers and the striker. So it'll be 4-3. So on paper a 4-3-3, but like in game it never is. It's like the best way, I don't know how to describe it, but if you watch Enzo Maresca, he's done a video himself where he talks about the what's the channel called? It's Coaching Masterclass, where he really talks about the details that he goes into. So it'll be a three at the back with then a two in front, which that two in front for us has been Ricardo Pereira and Harry Winks. And then slightly more advanced than that, then you've got two attacking number eights. Ndidi's been much more advanced and attacking player this year than he's ever been before. And Dewsbury Hall as the other one. Then obviously you've got your two wingers and your striker.
And how is his relationship with the media? And also describe his personality.
I really liked him this year because he's not been afraid to say what he thinks. Under Brendan Rodgers, it was every PR answer you could imagine under the sun, and he'd never give you an honest opinion. Like even sometimes with Enzo Maresca, you think not quite sure about that. I don't really agree with that. He will always speak his truth, whether you believe it to be the truth or not. It'll always be what he believes. And there was one game against Swansea, I think it was. We beat them 3-0, 3-1 comfortably. He wasn't happy about something, and he threatened to walk out of the club that evening. And it's like, so he's a fiery character, but it's nice to see someone like that who wears their heart on the sleeves and has a bit of passion, not someone who's just going to say, yes, sir, no, sir, glad to be here kind of thing, and always going to give you sort of the typical media-trained answers.
And what is his relationship with the fans?
I'd say till about a week ago, probably very good. Now, now less so. But yeah, I think throughout the course of the season, I don't think all the Leicester fans took to him. I think a lot of the older fans weren't a fan of the style of football. A lot of them are still very much stuck in the 1980s and would rather us hoof the ball forward to Vardy for 90 minutes and just counter-attack him. But I'd say 70 or 80% of the fans really got behind him and really liked him.
Also, what message would you like to convey to Chelsea fans?
Again, I just think he needs time. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell another fan base how to support their club and how to feel about a manager. Like, if he's given time, he will do well. If he's not given time, then you'll be having the same conversations about a different manager and probably this time next year.
I think I have the interesting one, right? And also Chelsea fans are complaining about it with Marcel Pochettino. What is Enzo Maresca's in-game management?
Awful. Absolutely awful. Like, genuinely, I don't... It's something, though, I think he will learn and improve on. But, yeah, it's not great, I'll be honest. He doesn't change anything in game. It's like if something's not working in the first minute, you'll still be doing it until the 90th minute.
Yeah, man. Hopefully he will learn from his mistakes. That's a concern. for Chelsea fans, that because we've been complaining about Mauricio Pochettino's in-game management. So hopefully Enzo learned from Leicester City because it won't go well with some of us Chelsea fans. So do you think Enzo Maresca struggle with the low blocks?
Yeah, I think big time. And I know people are saying about Chelsea having a better squad than Leicester, which I agree with. But also, you look at that Leicester squad; it was by far and away the most talented squad in the Championship. So I don't sort of buy this thing that it won't be an issue with Chelsea. It's like the teams that Chelsea are playing against will be better than the teams that Leicester were playing against last year. So I think it almost sort of cancels itself out. So he struggles massively against low blocks. And the issue is when you play slow build up and possession football, and particularly for a club like Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, 90% of teams are going to come and sit with a low block against you and look to hit you on the counter. So it's something he needs to work out and work out very quickly.
Mate, that's stressful. But anyway, let's see. Like I said, I think it's a big step for him and also it's a huge risk. But at the same time, if he's up for the challenge, hopefully he learns from his mistake. But
Yeah,
well, yes. So one thing, right? Does he play players out of position? For example, let's say left back as a winger, those kind of things.
he did with Ndidi playing him as an advanced eight, but that was, I think, because we didn't really have anyone else. Caste got recalled back to Chelsea. Yunus Akgun was injured. Dennis Pratt was injured, and then Ndidi came into that role, and he kept playing it because he'd done so well in that role. So I think that's the only example of that. But just go back to one thing. I've made him sound like a really bad manager. He's not, but he's a manager that he does have his flaws because he's so inexperienced and he's learning on the job.
And also, do you believe he has what it takes to be successful at Chelsea and the Premier League?
Depends what Chelsea define as success. If that's winning the Premier League, no, I don't. But if that's getting back into top four, yes. But for me, a club like Chelsea, success is defined by silverware that he picks up.
And does he play academy players, give them more time in the first team?
He does, but at Leicester, I don't think you have much of a choice about that because we don't have, like, you look through our squad, a huge amount of that is academy graduates. Casey McAteer, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, they're all academy players. It's like, I feel like he did because he had to at Leicester. I don't know if he will at Chelsea because it's very easy to ignore the academy at Chelsea because you look at the sort of plethora of talent you've got. Compared to at Leicester, a lot of our best young players are our academy players. Your likes of Will Alves, Sammy Braybrook, Casey McAteer, Dewsbury Hall, all coming through our academy. Whereas you guys, you've got a lot of good young players, but aren't really academy players.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. And then I hope he use academy players because Mauricio Pochettino didn't give our academy players enough time to develop those kind of things, and then our fan base never liked it, right? And also our new model, it depends on the future of young kids, and then Mauricio Pochettino didn't give them enough time. So hopefully, EnzoMaresca will give them enough time. So, mate, oh, I appreciate it for coming here. Hopefully, the Chelsea fans will learn the ups and downs about Enzo Maresca. So, what is your final thoughts about what we've been talking about?
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm not particularly happy that Maresca's left for this quickly, but I understand it. It's an opportunity. These kind of opportunities might not come again for him. So I get it. Now, for us, it's about getting the next manager in as quickly as possible, hoping it's Carlos Corberán from West Brom. But again, good luck to Enzo. But for me, it's now on to the next one for Leicester. I'm not too concerned with what happens with him next.
Thank you, mate. I'll share the link of your channel so that people can learn more about Leicester's previous season at Enzo's Maresca's previous season at Leicester, the reaction of the fan base, everything they need to know. Also, guys, on Sunday, I will be with Jersey discussing the technical tactics, formations, everything about Enzo Maresca's career so far. So, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the channel to everyone you know. Of the channel, guys. Thank you, mate.
Pleasure.